Hello there.
Very proper the way you speak, Caitlin.
Well, we are in the UK.
Edinburgh, Scotland.
We are at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Edinburgh. Yeah, I'm going to say it right.
That's Sean Patton.
That's Caitlin Cook.
And this is 5 Words, the podcast. Sean, where are you going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival?
Well, actually, where are you going to be? Let me tell the people. Her show is at 5:50 p.m. at the Grassmarket Center in the meeting room as part of the Just the Tonic.
Yes.
That's the production crew, the production house. That's
my venue.
The venue. 5:50 p.m. at the Grassmarket Center in the meeting room.
Yes.
Check out Caitlin's show.
Check out Sean's. He is in the Gilded Balloon Teviot in the balcony room.
Yes.
And that's at 7:45 every day, though he would say 19:45.
So would millions of people who lived in the UK.
Or the military.
Yeah. Caitlin's show is called Death Wish.
Sean's show is called Contradickhead.
Yeah.
And you should come if you're in Edinburgh. And if you're not, you should just buy a ticket and come over and see it anyway.
I think you should. I think you should go see Caitlin's.
If you don't have that much energy and you're not in Edinburgh, what you can do to help us out is click that subscribe button, leave us a review, tell your friends. Just do a tiny, tiny little bit of work for us.
And we'll continue to do a shitload of work for you.
It is a lot of work.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Love you.
Wait, let's harmonize.
You go, you start.
No.
Okay.
Love. That worked.
There it is.
I'm so proud of you. All right. Enjoy. 5 words.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to 5 Words, the podcast.
Oh, it's great. It's the greatest podcast you've ever heard. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's lovely being here in beautiful Edinburgh.
I just love comedy, and it's the Fringe, and it's lovely.
So you come from South London, then?
I can't do a Scottish accent.
I can't.
And neither can you.
Yeah, neither can I.
This episode, you're going to really enjoy. I did not know this comedian very well, but we had bumped into each other like all week in L.A.
I knew him quite well. We were best friends. Co-created a show together and actually did some time in the AmeriCorps, healing wounded children.
Were you in prison together as well for a while?
That's racist. You're saying that? You're only saying that because he's
black.
Yeah. I was going to say we were in Uruguay helping to heal injured children, injured from the buffalo.
A more positive spin.
From the buffalo hunts.
Good for you. But this comedian has a new album that should be out this Friday called Hazepedia.
And his name is Rob Haze.
Rob Haze.
And he's awesome. He Atlanta, I feel like outside of New York and LA, Atlanta, Chicago, and Denver are 3 comedy cities that are like got a great comedy scenes. DC has a great one as well. Philly's got a great one. But anyway, there's numerous great scenes, but I think Atlanta, Denver, and Chicago are the best. Rob, originally from Atlanta.
Yep.
Did some time in New York.
Did a lot of time in New York.
Yeah.
Just moved to LA when we recorded this episode. And it's a great one. Check it out. I'm particularly excited for the song at the end.
And he has a very, very hypnotically comedic voice.
It's very true. There's also a video of this because we recorded it in the All Things Comedy Studio. So if you want to watch that, it will be on YouTube.
We had to record with Rob visually because he sounds like a cartoon character.
And he's
just so
gorgeous.
friendly.
Just gorgeous.
Just so friendly and happy. And people are like, that this person's too positive to be real.
True.
So we shot in the studio.
Yeah, you got to prove it.
Check it out.
All right.
Welcome. This is why
I'll start it.
I never thought I could be in audio format.
Why?
Because right there, whatever they call that. I lack the capability for thoughts to just come out fluid and smooth, like a wave that the audience's eardrums can ride. I'm just sloppy and all over the place.
Well, that was very well phrased. Hi, welcome to 5 Words, the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for doing that. With I'm going to go ahead and Rob Haze, our wonderful guest. I'm introducing you up front so you know you can talk right away.
Okay, good. Yeah. I normally get in trouble when I do podcasts because they're like, wait, whoa. We got to talk about our lives for 20 minutes. And then you come in and then we bring like,
No,
okay.
boo those kinds of podcasts.
There
Then
are.
just sitting there watching other people have a conversation.
Yeah.
There are. It's interesting how much podcasts have evolved, because I feel like at first when everyone started doing podcasts, it was talking, it was conversation, it was like the audience member or listener was eavesdropping on something very fun, and then sometimes you get to some of these sometimes you do a person's podcast where they have like segments and they're timed out, and there are like studio cues and sound cues and like breaks. And you're like, so is this a radio show?
Yeah, there are parts where people talk at the same time and they have like routines and stuff, and it's like, oh man, that's really intricate.
It's like history. It's all gonna just repeat itself. And that was, if you still had your DJ app hooked up, that would be where I was like, I'll try and say something.
I didn't want to just bring the soundboard onto someone else's podcast.
If we're gonna shit on other podcasts with sound cues, we should probably add our own.
Hold on. Definitive difference between commenting on and shitting on.
That's true.
That is true.
That's
You're
very
right.
true.
I feel like I was like, some podcasts do this, and Caitlin's like, wow, yeah, boom, doo-doo horn, because you just shit on them. That Rob has the DJ app. If you're listening and you work for the DJ app corporation, we are accepting sponsorship bids. Go ahead and make a pitch.
Yo, holla at me. I mean, I've put so many people on. I've saved so many parties. There's been so many good times where, like there's nothing to do, and then I just pull out my phone and
I like save so many parties. Like there's a party where, because I've been in those party situations where like everyone's trying to make it amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it shitty.
Yeah.
And if everyone just was like, hold on for a second, what if we just let this be what it is? And then all of a sudden you walk in, plug your phone in, and then...
Yeah, I already know. My fault.
Is that actually called a doo-doo horn? Because you called it that.
Oh, I was letting the cops drive by.
Sorry. Yeah, I gotta be quiet when the cops drive by.
No, I'm gonna call it a doo-doo horn.
What is it called on there?
It says foghorn.
Foghorn. That's not a foghorn.
I know. When I think a foghorn's like,
That's like a bullhorn, if anything, right?
Meow, meow, meow.
It's like what you do when you've burned somebody real bad.
I thought it was. I always equated it with a parade. Like a meh, meh, meh. Like I feel like the first time I heard that was when I first moved to Bushwick, like in 2007, and the Puerto Rican Day Parade was rolling through, and I was like, oh, that's it. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, I always thought it was like a reggae thing, like when like they play a song they like or something, and then it just kind of made its way into all of their culture.
It just
yeah. I feel like I've only heard it at comedy shows.
See, okay,
wow, that's where it's at now.
I am convinced that I was the first person to say it. Like other people had had the DJ play it, but I was the first person to go meow 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 because I remembered having a bit where I did that on stage. I had to figure out how to say it, so that people got what I was talking about and I didn't sound crazy. And I tried other sounds. And now everywhere I go, I listen to all kind of stuff. People are always doing it all the time. I'm like, yo, that's me.
Wait. Play the actual
your
sound.
Bits, man.
Now, what's your version?
That's pretty spot on.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be more of a bah, 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 but you're right. It's more of a bah, bah, bah.
Yo, I mean, I workshopped it. I got it perfect, and then people are like, yo, I'm doing that now. I feel I have no way of proving it. I'm there's no national thing where I did it and it just caught fire. But in my head, I'm like, I figured this out on my own.
Yeah.
Was it like, well, so you're was it a bunch of white comedians? Because that would make you like the Chuck Berry of sound effects.
I mean, I feel like it's across the board, but I feel like it's one of those observations that we all made. I feel like I did the groundwork, and then everybody else was like, yeah, but we all lived that. We all experienced that before you brought it up.
Interesting question then. Okay, because that's interesting. Do you feel like when someone uses a very common phrase as a punchline, be it during a set or just in conversation, and it like kills, do you sort of feel like, yeah, but you didn't invent that phrase, you're just using it?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it makes me cringe sometimes, depending on how common the phrase is.
Yeah, like I can't. This is the bad example, but like someone saying something ignorant and another person going, "I'm gonna go with no," and everyone's like, "Oh!"
The
you
example that
crushed
came
it.
to mind was,
What?
"Bitches be crazy."
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard that said seriously in 5 years.
I know, but that's because it became so hacky. But I'm sure the first person that said that was like, "This is a great punchline."
Yeah, there was probably plenty of people in the 90s whose punchline was, "You go, girl."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's Martin. That's his.
You know what's funny is I think of like 38-year-old white managers at like a Outback.
You go, girl.
Talking to like the one black employee in the room, like, yeah, you go, girl. And it's like, all right, man, Steven with a V.
I was on the street the other day, and this guy, he needed to get past me, and he patted me on the back. He was like, "Excuse me, brother, man." And I was
What?
like, I didn't have enough time to think of like a response, because I'm like, you don't say that to white people. I know you don't. I know you don't say, "Excuse me, brother, man." Like, brother already happens to me from white people way more than they never call each other brother. But then me, it's like, "What's going on, brother?" Or, "Excuse me, brother." Or, I'm always their brother. But brother man just sounds like it's just an extreme. Like I'm like, okay, I have to watch out for this person, because like, what are they overcompensating for?
It feels so weirdly formal. Like you went from like bro to brother man.
Brother
Like,
man.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
Dude, that is. I mean, you're Atlanta, so I think you and I experienced this similarly, in the sense that that was a thing. I think a lot of white people were like conditioned to do as a sign of being not racist.
Sure.
Was like, hey, when you're talking to black people, consider speaking their lingo quite a bit. You know what I'm saying, Holmes? You know what I mean, homie? You know, it would be like that kind of shit where you're like, because I heard that all my life growing up. Like when white people start talking to black people, I'm like, "Oh, yo, what's up? Hey, dude, what's up? What's up, G? Hey, he's my homie,
See,
man."
now that feels more racist.
It is.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the setting. Cause like, okay, if we're in high school,
right,
and I got to see you every day, and you do that, maybe I get that, and especially in like a different time period. But like now, a complete stranger, and you just like, I'm just and also I'm in a white space. I'm the only black person in this space,
right?
And you're calling me, I see you talking to everybody else. All right, see you later, man. All right, man. All right, man. All right, brother. It's like, what?
Yeah. There isn't insecurity to that. I mean, there's a type of person that does that. That will be like, "Oh, yo, man, what's up, dude? You want to puff a blunt or what?" And you're like, you never asked me to puff a blunt.
Yeah.
But now Rob's here and you want to puff a blunt. And around me, you'll say like dabs. You want to do some dabs? And you're like, what? Is Rob not sophisticated enough to know the difference between a blunt?
Well, if you pull out a blowtorch, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, I'm just throwing this out there, not into dabs. I think it's too much. Just smoke the weed.
But if you give me an option between a blunt and a glass pipe, I'm taking the bowl all day.
Yeah, because you're not going to cough for 35 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not sophisticated enough to know what a dab is.
I think it's like condensed THC, like cooked down. Oh, I feel like it's like the condensed milk of THC.
It's crackish.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's like
it's like yellow and condensed, and you got to have a blowtorch.
You have to have a blowtorch
To heat it
I've
up.
seen this. Yeah.
It is crackish.
It just takes
You're right.
a little bit for like the videos I've watched online. People have fallen asleep instantly,
Wow.
and
Okay.
I
Why?
don't need that.
Yeah. Just go to sleep.
Yeah, just go to sleep.
Some people though, like some people, I think, like if I get drunk or high at all, and that's pretty much all I do these days. I just want to enjoy myself in a less than restricted way. Does that make sense? Like I just want to have fun. You do not drink, right?
I rarely drink. I go back and forth. I
Right.
rarely drink, but I can have fun without drinking. I could be myself without drinking. Totally.
You should write a book. I need it just a little bit, but I know people, as do you, who like to them it's like, oh, if I'm gonna drink, I want to get blackout fucked up. Like if I'm gonna smoke weed, I want to get incapacitatedly high.
Yeah.
You know, if I do shrooms or any psychedelic, I want to freak out and y'all have to find me somewhere on a roof with a pellet gun. Like that happened once. Then that wasn't me. It was just a guy I know. I don't know why I'm telling you about it.
There's two extremes with that person. There's the person like that like their life is in shambles.
Yeah.
And then there's the other person like that who's a hard worker, super successful, and like when they let loose, get out of the way.
Yeah.
I feel like there's even a diversion or like a third that's their life is so in a bubble and boring that even they realize it, and this is how they
That's
break.
how they shake it up. Yeah. I feel like I understand the people that work really hard that like just live on the extreme of like get out of their way. But
I mean, that's the fucking. But that same person, the extremes, that's the same person who can either not talk to black people, or when he talks to black people has to drop into like the. I mean, so many people I saw growing up in the suburbs of Louisiana, who like would just normally be like, "Here I am, just." This is how I talk, and then a black person would be around and be like, "Yo, man, you know what I'm saying?" Shit, and then they would drop into this like black talk. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, dude? You heard me, right? I catch you. I holler at you later, Phil. Anyway, man. So yeah, can you give me a ride home? And you're like, what was that? What was that thing? And it's like I think that was in the '90s.
Yeah,
and it's bled over into now the 21st century.
Do you remember the roast of Carson Daly on
Yeah, man, I actually do.
when Chris Rock showed how Carson Daly acts when he has a black guest versus when Carson Daly has
That's
a white guest?
funny.
And it was so funny how different, like if Juvenile
God,
was
I
there
have
and
to
he'd
watch
just be
this
like,
now.
yo man, so yeah, we gonna check out another video, and then like if Hanson's there, he's like totally different.
Oh my God, you guys! Do you want some poutine?
Bop. So great, right? Awesome. All right.
And then, yeah, man, 400 degrees. It's hot. I'm sweating. We finna cut to that piece. Which, thanks for, and I like that Juvenile's the example.
Yeah.
Most underrated rapper out of New Orleans.
Shout out to Juvenile.
Yeah, he's still around. He's definitely not a juvenile anymore.
He was never.
I don't think he was ever a juvenile. Yeah.
He was like 25 when That Ass Up came out.
You think he was that young?
Yeah, I think he was like 25.
Really?
I used to look up their ages in the source.
Wow.
And
Oh,
like,
look at that.
I have my
Cut their
suspicions
pictures out.
that when 400 Degrees came out, he was in his 30s. That's what I think.
No,
he wasn't that old.
I don't think so. I think like Baby and
Manny Fresh.
Manny Fresh were in their 30s. Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Juvenile, because he was a hot boy.
He was a hot boy.
He was a 25-year-old boy, which is already a lot, you know.
That was
Interesting.
Lil Wayne was 14 when that album came out.
Yeah, he was a child.
This is one of the only
14.
Wikipedia pages I've seen recently that doesn't list his age.
There you go, because he's in his 60s.
Or he's a juvenile forever.
I mean, that dude. I mean, when that becomes your name, like that's the thing too. Like that guy, Juvie, I guess is probably what people would call him in the shorthand. But like that guy walks around life for the past 20 years being referred to by most strangers as juvenile.
Yeah, I know.
He might be a grandfather now.
Yeah.
Guess what his real name is? Do you know?
I think it's like Chris Jefferson.
It's Terrius Gray.
Oh, okay. Chris Jefferson. That was me.
Great name.
That was me trying not to give him a black name in my head. And then his name's Terrius Gray. Terrius Gray.
Gray, yeah.
That's a good name.
People probably call him Terry. Terry the Juvenile.
That is so fucking funny. God, Juvenile Terry the Juvenile. That'd have been his name if he'd have grown up in like Austin,
If he was a wrestler.
or if he's a wrestler.
Yeah,
Terry
Terry
the
the Juvenile.
Just shows up like embarrassed and acting shitty and just not being mature at all, and that's how he ends up winning the match. He punches the other guy in the balls.
You think you're the heavyweight champ, huh? You think
I'm not gonna body slam you, huh?
you think I'm not gonna come defend my belt, huh?
You on top them ropes, huh? You gonna jump, huh? You finna tag your partner out, huh? Is you a welterweight, dude? I mean, but do you remember that video?
Oh
video
yeah, I remember
excellent.
that video. Yeah,
I mean, you can still watch it, but that video is, because all of Cash Money, all of their videos worked very. I mean, and then every No Limit video, and I'm only comparing those two because that was like back to back in New Orleans, yeah. But like every Cash Money video was just about how many things can we cover in diamonds and gold, and how much champagne, and I mean, I think Hannibal had that bit where he was like, what their videos were like, I'm done pouring champagne on these bitches.
Yeah.
Are there more?
Yeah, the continued video. Yeah. Oh, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah. Hannibal's bit was hilarious. But like, and then Juvenile's video was just like, wait, what? This is beautiful.
Yeah, all those videos are just like the most messed up living situations.
Yeah.
People in white tees.
Oh yeah.
And then like jewelry in every car in Motor Trend magazine.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, PT Cruisers, Plymouth Prowler, like just like Escalades.
Yeah.
Like whatever got the J.D. Power and Associates Award was in the video. Navigator. You know?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Juvenile's video is like, oh, there's people hanging out in the projects and looks kind of desolate, and he's dancing with no shirt on in front of graffiti while cops. It's very art for the time. I mean, no one was doing videos like that back then.
Yeah.
No one cared to. And then all of a sudden it was like, wow, this is like an NYU film grad came in here and was like, can I shoot your video? I'll take care of the budget. I'll do it.
It wasn't until I went to New Orleans for the first time I realized how hot it is in New Orleans.
Very
and
hot.
I was like, oh, white tees are like a necessity.
Yeah.
Like the color would be painful. Like, it's so hot here.
Dude.
I never thought about it like that. That's so true, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, you need all that. That's why when I see, like, when they're bigger, longer white tees, I'm like, they need more cloth to soak in the sweat. Because it is not temperature. But, like, Atlanta growing up, this is why sometimes I hate sports, is because, like, the first time I ever went to Atlanta, I had such a shitty attitude about it because I grew up a New Orleans Saints fan.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a New Orleans Saints shirt now. This is the same shirt that's in the logo. Accident, I promise. But yeah, growing up a Saints fan, like, fuck the Falcons. And then, like, the first time I went to Atlanta, I was an adult person, and I was still like, fucking Atlanta. Ugh. Look at this dumb town, fucking Falcon. And, like, you get your head in this headspace of, like, wait a second.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's very stupid.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, what the? And then you realize, like, none of these athletes give a shit about us.
No.
They don't.
Sure.
They don't even live in the cities they play for most of the time.
No, and they're not from there.
And they're definitely not from there.
Yeah.
So like
That would be way more interesting if you could build a sports team based off only people that grew up in that state.
Well, they used to have regional drafts. It used
Oh,
to.
interesting.
Wait,
It used to
seriously?
be like that. Well, the NBA did.
Okay.
And so Oscar Robertson played for Cincinnati, and then he was drafted by the Cincinnati Royals. So they like had that.
Okay.
Oh, people want to still see him. The most amazing college player playing the pros. Like, so yeah, they used to have a regional draft. But yeah, the same thing. The first time I went to New Orleans, I'm like, F this place. This is going to be whack. This is going to be a fake Atlanta. And then it's like, no, this is nothing like Atlanta. This is one of the most amazing places in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
both cities. I mean,
They're both great cities.
yeah. Like Atlanta. Like I remember like growing up when I in like 99, 98, I went and I saw Outkast and a little known hip hop group at the time called the Black Eyed Peas were opening for Outkast.
oh, pre-Fergie.
Pre-Fergie.
They got good.
Yeah. But I remember talking to fucking people who were like, man, Outkast is the shit. I mean, sucks that they're from Atlanta. It was like that it was like that level of like fandom. And then you go, and like Atlanta now is like such a, like, I mean, I feel like it was always a city that artistically flew under the radar. And now it's like everything's
we love New Orleans music though. Like
Atlanta?
growing up, yeah. Like we had all the No Limit stuff, all the Cash Money stuff, and and everything in between, like Memphis and like like everything they were doing. But
it might be a grass is greener because growing up I was always Outkast, Goody Mob. Like I was,
well, I mean, I guess I'm a little younger, so I love Outkast and Goody Mob and everything. But they I don't know when No Limits got started, and
I mean, it was crazy.
And then Cash Money, I was so serious. I had a Cash Money Records chain I would wear to like middle school.
Really?
And, I had had Hot Boys albums and Lil Wayne and Juvenile and the whole everything.
Caitlin, do you know when we say Cash Money Records chain? Do you know what he's talking about?
No.
Basically, it's a giant flat gold plate.
That's what I was picturing, but I was like, I'm probably wrong.
Dollar sign.
No,
on
I
it.
remember that shit.
Just huge.
Yeah.
It was such a
What years? Like
late 90s. Late 90s.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah. Because
I'm also a little younger. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, because right around the time, I mean, you were big in the late 90s. You were listening to what?
In the late 90s?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a child.
You were 8. Yeah. Yeah, the late night. I don't know. The 90s. The late 90s had some good. So, I mean, but that Cash Money. I mean, I remember pre No Limit Mystical.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, like that was, and then when he went, and then of course turned out to do some awful shit. That dude, but his early pre No Limit stuff was like, why doesn't anybody know about this guy?
Yeah.
And then that happened, and then Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg
signed with No Limit.
Mm-hmm.
That was insane. And I mean, you could, but looking back, you could tell it was like a cash grab.
Sure,
you could tell it was like okay. But if you want to hear one thing that was terrible, it was terrible. There's one song, I couldn't even tell you what it's called, but it was a Wu-Tang No Limit collaboration.
What?
It's one song, and it is god awful. It is.
The Raekwon Outkast song is great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's and
Stewie on the Barbie.
Fantastic. And but that's the thing. They sent Raekwon and Raekwon, Big Boy, and Andre 3000 are three extremely skilled rappers.
Ran into each other at the mall.
Is that really what happened?
Yeah.
And they were like,
let's
go to
saw
Columbus?
each other at
What?
Lenox Mall, and then they were like, we got to go to the studio.
That's amazing. Really?
Yeah.
Because that's one of the best songs on that album too. But like the No Limit Wu-Tang, it's like Silk the Shocker and like Capadonna. Exactly. Which to put that in context, like imagine the two worst parts of something. like what are your two? Like imagine a slice of bread and a bowl of pasta.
Yeah, that sounds gross.
It's disgusting. I mean, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's not. And now I'm gonna get attacked by Capadonna, the legion of Capadonna fans out there.
Oh man.
And all the Silk the Shocker fanatics. But Silk the Shocker was Master P's brother, and he was not a good rapper. And his name was Silk the Shocker.
Never was on beat.
Ever.
I never like Silk the Shocker was always on his own rhythm.
Yeah.
Weird.
Had a lot to say, but in weird places.
Yeah.
And just but we still loved. He was cool. He was a cool guy. Like we did look like, oh, what is Silk the Shocker wearing?
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's so funny.
all over the beat.
Now you just moved to LA from New York.
Yes.
What do you think so far?
So far, it's everything seems spread out. Like I feel like I'm in just a huge place, and I think it's like New York felt like that, but it felt like, but
it's easy to get around.
It's
Everything's
easy
there.
to get around. Like
Yeah.
I didn't think about getting around as much as I have to think about getting around here.
Yeah, you really have to plan ahead of like, what time am I leaving? What's
Yeah.
the traffic gonna be like? How am I gonna get there? Like,
What?
And I'm already tired of talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Already everywhere I go, people are like, oh, where do you live?
Yeah.
Oh, how long does it take you to get to blah blah? How long is it like?
yeah.
I don't know you. Like why do we have to talk about this? Like
I wish this entire city years ago when it was founded on the idea that nothing could be built here, so everyone just had to live in like caravans. And just
Everyone drove their whole home around.
everybody just lived in RVs and just drove around constantly. And
Oh my God.
because imagine imagine LA if the entertainment industry was not here.
Man.
It would some people go like, oh, there wouldn't be a city. No, I disagree. It's a beautiful area. People would definitely
It'd
live
definitely be
here.
a city. I can't. That's why it became a city, though.
Yeah, but then again, lots of cities became cities for no fucking reason. Like why does Phoenix exist? You know?
I'm sure there is a reason.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just shitting on all these random cities. I feel like it was just people were there. You know, and they were like, well, let's just stay here. And then
In the desert, they were like, let's just stay in the desert.
let's just
Maybe that's it. Maybe
Yeah.
they're like, you know what? If it's like this here, I don't even want to go any further.
That's probably
Let's just stop right now.
definitely it.
Because if it gets any hotter, I'm going to
Yeah.
die.
or maybe it's people evolved. They say people evolved from fish, right? So they came up on the beaches somewhere around Santa Monica, Venice, started walking inland, and were like, well, it's hot, but let's keep going. And then they saw the mountains, and were like, fuck it. We're not climbing that. Let's just stay here. I
I feel like we're doing the 5-word story now. This is so off the walls.
I know, right?
But people transformed from fish
That is true.
to people right away. No, I can't picture it because I feel like, are we saying that there's no entertainment industry whatsoever, or it just lives in a different city?
I'm saying it just never. Yeah, the L.A. Hollywood set up shop in fucking Denver 100 years ago, so it never came all the way out to Hollywood, or it never came all the way out to L.A.
Charlie Chaplin moved to Denver,
Yeah.
and everyone else was like, yo, if Charlie's there,
Yeah.
we're out of here.
That's where
And
we're
then-
filming. Yeah. And so, but that's what she like. That's why apparently L.A. exists as the entertainment industry capital to begin with, because they could film without roofs because of all the sunlight. But Denver has more sunlight per year, technically.
Yeah, but it also has a lot of more weather changes.
This is a hypothetical. How great? You know what LA would
It would
be
be a
like?
great city.
It would be like it would be during Christmas. Have you ever been here during? You haven't been here during Christmas.
No, I haven't been here during Christmas.
It's fantastic. Nothing. Nobody's here. The bars are all half full. You can do 90 on La Brea. You know,
Yeah,
you shouldn't.
great.
but
I thought
the-
you meant 90 minutes, but you mean 90 miles.
Mount. I mean
Do
both.
a tight 90 while driving.
I mean both. Wait. We got Rob. So tell us
Okay.
your story
in the 5 words.
in 5 words.
All right. My 5 words are.
Yeah.
Hold up. Let me get out of the
Out of the DJ.
out of the DJ app.
I like how I was earlier, by the
wrong.
way, making fun of white dudes who used to talk to black people weird, and here I am like, hey, Rob, hook up your DJ app, though, bud.
Well, to your defense, I was already showing it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm into it.
All right. Word number 1 is fear.
Good one.
Word number 2 is hash. Word number 3 is license plate.
Oh.
Can that be 2
Yeah,
words?
We'll take
that's
that.
fine.
Okay.
It's words or phrases.
Word number 4 is lucky.
Lucky.
And word number 5 is Star Trek.
Oh. This is this is a story right here, bud. This is a story right here. How do you feel? And you want to take this one?
I'll take this one.
Off the
'cause,
top?
personally, I've been dealing with lots of fears myself in my material, so I feel like I can relate to this one. But basically, since you were a small child, you had a very large fear of, let's say, space. Yeah, large fear of space. I think like a lot of kids have this. You stare up at the universe at night and you just think, God, it's vast, and what are we doing? And we're tiny little specks. So that was a huge fear of yours.
And growing up in Atlanta, as you did, you met people out there where everybody knows it's a fairly philosophical city. And someone was like, wait, Rob, you have some fear? You know what? You should try smoking this hash. It's not weed.
Mm-hmm.
It's way stronger and harder to get and will fuck you up way harder and make it easier to deal with your fears. Everyone knows how easy it is to deal with your fear when you're high out of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so you, of course, when you were a young kid, being afraid of the universe, decided to get high on hash. Right?
Yes. So one time while you were high on hash, a bunch of your friends, you're about a teenager at this point, you decide that you're going to start collecting license plates off some parked cars, which is illegal but very fun to do.
It's a hobby. It's a hobby a lot of
Yeah.
people have.
So you guys started doing that on a regular basis. Every time you'd go out, you'd smoke hash, you'd try and steal a license plate off a car.
And then you were doing that, and there was a little green Toyota hatchback with a license plate that just said 7777777 on it. You guys got that one off and realized, oh shit, that's a Leprechaun's car. This is a lucky license plate. Mm-hmm. So anything we want to do, as long as we have this license plate, will be done without, dare I say, fear?
Without fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what you ended up doing is sneaking in to see Star Trek, the movie.
There it is. That's your story. You were afraid of the world. You got high on hash, decided to take up the hobby of boosting license plates, stole a Leprechaun's license plate, and used the luck from it to sneak in to see Star Trek the movie because you were kids and you didn't realize there was more you could have done with that license
Very
plate.
true. Did we nail it?
You guys, you guys got real close in some parts, and then some parts are like not so close. You know.
Okay. Fair enough.
What's the real story?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm afraid of everything.
Oh, me too.
So like most things scare me. I'm like I'm afraid of dogs. I'm afraid of fireworks. Hugely afraid of the police.
As one should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of like
Not in a good way, I say that either.
the minute I started driving, I started getting pulled over all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of caused me to be like, you know, like always whenever I'm driving, looking behind me, thinking like I want to be ready.
Right.
You know, if the police are like behind me. And so, but that doesn't stop me from doing stuff that's illegal. So like my dad, my car was registered in Athens when I went to University of Georgia.
Ah, good town.
And
Yeah.
so then when I came to Atlanta and started doing stand-up, my dad was like, don't switch your car registration to Atlanta because then you're going to have to get emissions for your car. Me thinking, oh, emissions is like they're going to like have to build a whole nother car, not knowing like how cheap it is to get your like car fixed for fixed for like you know
Yeah.
yeah
Carbon emissions or whatever. Yeah.
Me thinking, oh, that's gonna be the most money ever. I'm like, yeah, so let me keep it registered in Athens.
Right.
My old apartment in Athens, they wouldn't let me get like mail after I stopped living there. So you could register online your car, but you couldn't like I couldn't get the sticker. So I had a license plate that was like, if it scanned, it would be like, oh, he's good, but it wouldn't have the sticker on there.
Got it.
And so I was fine for a long time. And so there was a whole era in Atlanta comedy where everybody was on hash pills.
Hash pills?
Yeah, there was a guy who figured out how to put hash in like a little pill.
And you would take the pill.
And so, yeah, you would take the pill. And
Time
then, like,
released
an
hash.
hour later, you would be high beyond like your mind.
Yeah, you're not supposed to eat hash, I think.
No.
Yeah.
And
Unless it's corned beef hash.
We would take it. Like one time I took it and went to see Kevin Hart laugh at my pain. And it didn't hit until I was out of the theater.
Oh,
like I watched the whole movie and then I'm in the parking lot like losing my mind.
Like laughing? Like, that was the
Like
greatest thing I've
laughing,
ever-"
but also like, no, I have to drive now. Like this is the worst.
Oh.
So, and then like your whole day is ruined after that. So, I'm coming from a show. I just got 2 hash pills. I get pulled over. And
Wait, did you take both of these?
no, I had them.
Oh, you just had them. Okay.
And the cop comes to my car and he's like, wait, where do you live? Because
The license plate?
the license plate and my address on my driver's license didn't match. And so I told him, and then he went back to the car. And I was like, that's not good when they like don't say anything and they just leave.
Yeah.
And so I'm freaking out. I'm like, okay, these are pills. Is that a controlled substance? You know, the little lawyer in your brain is like, oh man, you're going to get way more time if it's in a pill form. So I take both the pills.
No.
Yes. And then,
which is a different kind of prison you're about to enter.
Yeah. But I'm like, I'm about to go to jail anyway. I might as well, like, you know,
be out of your
be out of my mind, because
then people will leave you alone, at least if you're just the crazy guy they just brought in.
Yeah. I'm like, who knows what I'm gonna have to do to like get people away from me in jail. So I might as well just get like fucked up or just like fall asleep or whatever is gonna happen. So the cop comes back to my car. And then, like, there's a call on the radio. Yeah. And he's like, today's your lucky day. And, like, throws my license in the car and, like, runs off. Wow. And, like, hits the siren, just, like, leaves. And so I was like, oh, good. Mm-hmm. And so, I made it. And then, like, I drove home. And then, like, when I got home, the hash pills hit. Yeah. And I turned on the TV. And Star Trek The Next Generation was on. And when I tell you, I've never thought about Data so much in my life.
The character or the actual
everything?
Concept of
the character, like the actor, like how much he probably like threw everybody off when he sneezed on set and stuff. And just like everything, like how long it took to get the makeup, like who came up with Data, you know, like they didn't have a robot like that in the like original Star Trek, you know, just like I'm locked in on Data. I'm like looking at Data's Wikipedia page. I'm reading Reddit on Data. Like if any Data on Data, oh, I'm in. Like
you were looking up Data on Data.
Yeah.
And does Data have Spock envy?
Yeah.
You know, does that actor
come on,
call Leonard Nimoy like, how do I do it?
Did he get typecast? Like, what's going on? If you see somebody, you don't, and he's not like that shade anymore. Would you, like, if I saw Data in the street, would I know, oh, that's the dude that played Data? Or I'd be like, I don't know where I know this guy from, but I know him from somewhere.
Oh, I would pay so much, not even just money, blood, anything to be in your presence the moment you saw that actor and that's Data. Just for the initial look in your face of like the like remembering like how high you are.
This happened.
Data.
This happened last week. I was in a party and I saw this dude. I was like, yo, I went to high school with him. He looks different. I almost went up to him, and then I was like, oh, that's the dude from Snowfall. Like, I've never met him. I just binge watched his show, and now I'm like, oh, I know him.
I mean, dude, that's actually a good tactic for if you want to approach someone you're a fan of. Just walk up and be like, man, we went to high school together, right? Yeah. And then they'll be like, I'm not sure. And then just be like, what was your name? And then they tell you, and you're like,
and they're like, Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Oh, man.
Keanu Reeves. Okay, I thought you were my friend Jeff. But hey, by the way, I'm a huge fan of your work.
I bet that happens to famous people a lot. Or like character actors.
Yeah,
you feel like you know them.
It's got to be a certain type of famous person. Because if they're too famous, then it's like, everybody come on. You didn't go to high school with Rihanna. She didn't go to high school. But then
that's also funny when you like hear celebrities talk. Like sometimes I've read these interviews with celebrities where they talk about how annoying it could be to be recognized. Or like I know, you know, we all know a couple people who've like gotten to a level where they get recognized. And sometimes they talk about how annoying it is. It's like, but you knew what you were getting into when you signed up for this. Yeah. You knew that was a possibility. Like, I think that understand, like, people who are like, oh, God, I fucking hate it. And I'm like, well, then why are you doing it? You could have done anything else.
Counterpoint, though. What? There are things that you've done that you hate it when people recognize you from those.
Yeah, but when they do recognize me, I'm very like, hey.
Yeah.
Like I'm friendly about it. I'm talking about people who act like those people who recognize them are the biggest cocksuckers in the world. Fuck that. And there's and which again, 21st century, nothing wrong with being a cocksucker. Okay? I've been watching Deadwood lately. Have you ever watched that show?
No.
Caitlin has never. Have you never watched it? If there's a show called you know about Deadwood.
It's
The
about
Western-
trees in the wintertime.
Exactly. There's just one guy going from tree to tree like, fuck! I was going to build a treehouse in this one. That's hilarious. Wait, Deadwood, just every show that's about the literal title. Wait,
What would be the most interesting show?
I'm trying to think. Breaking Bad would just be, well, I don't,
It's the guys that try to get the slang term bad.
broke this.
Yeah, it's like, no. It means good now. Like,
yeah.
come on, baby, 1983. Let's go.
Let's be good. Yeah. Game of Thrones would just be about toilets.
Yeah.
It's fun. Girls, actually about dudes. No, did I go too far? Yeah, I did. No, that's a dude. First of all, that's definitely crazy because I've had cops pull me over where I give them my license and like can't find the registration because I'm
Okay.
driving because I'll be like back I'll be back in Louisiana in New Orleans and like driving my mom's car or something. This happened with my sister's car actually. I got pulled over. I just couldn't find. I was like, I assumed it'd be in here. It was like 1 a.m. I wasn't fucked up. I was just ran a stop sign or something. But it was a thing of like, I just don't know where her shit is and I can't call her, and I couldn't find it. And the dude just did nothing. He was just like, all right, well, just you missed the stop sign. Just be careful about that. And then so it's like the
Yeah.
idea that you had a license and a license plate, and he was still like, well, I got to check this out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and at night to see, like, the sticker was missing, like, he was just ready to.
Dude, I was in a car with a comedian from Asheville who also lived in Atlanta, whose name I won't say because I don't know if she wants me telling this story.
She
Whatever.
really narrowed it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Wait, but a wonderful Asian comedian who's
She's
from Asheville,
lovely.
who lived in Atlanta for a while. Her name's Minori Hines. I'm not gonna-
Oh,
Yeah.
you should let me guess.
Yeah. Do you know Minori?
Yeah.
All right. So we were in Asheville leaving a bar, and she turned down she just turned left onto a one-way street. Mm-hmm. Just mistake. And cops pulled up on us from both sides. Right? Because it was like late, and we were leaving the peach tree, or what's it called in Asheville? The orange peel. So we were
Okay.
like leaving a bar, and she pulled in, and she was like, hold on. And she just got out of the car and like waved at the cops and was like, I'm sorry, so sorry. And they still came over to her, and she was like, I'm so sorry, I just didn't see the turn. And they were like, have you been drinking? She's like, no, my bad. And they're like, all right, we'll just back out, you'll be fine. So like, again, drove into a one-way street.
Yep.
I would have never got out and waved. Ever.
Got out and waved.
Yo,
She got out and just
Oh my
waved. It
God.
was
That's
insane.
just pure. All of those stories is just pure cop racism right there.
Have you ever been pulled over? You don't like Caitlin. Have you ever been pulled over and had to be like, I'm sorry?
No, but I don't drive.
Yeah. My sisters are both really good at like now I'm just blowing up their spot, giving away their secrets. But they're both really good at when getting pulled over, like, I'm so sorry, officer. I can't, I'm just, no, you're right. And getting let off whatever minor.
Oh, you know what? I did get pulled over once on my bike in New York, and I was working this fucking job that I hated, and I started crying immediately when the cop pulled me over because I was like, come on a bicycle?
Oh, man.
It's only acceptable
They
if
let
the
me
cop
go.
is on a bike.
Yeah. No, he was just standing there waiting for bikers to turn on red
Well,
lights.
yeah. Well, there you go. You took 2 hash pills. Oh, that's insane to me, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll never take that much hash again. Like, and hash is already so intense. Like, the first time I had hash, I felt like something was drumming on my head. Like, it was just like...
The whole time?
Yeah, it's just an intense feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good beat.
Have you ever done hash?
Yeah, Mom. You ever been on hash? That's the way you
You
said
were
it. Funny.
asking me all these questions the whole time?
No, the way you said ever been on hash.
Oh.
You ever been on hash? Yeah, I smoked hash in London. In like a
Oh, yeah, they have a lot more hash over there.
they do the I can forget what they call them, but when they mix it with tobacco, they'll roll a cigarette and just put like little balls of hash in there.
Is that still a spliff?
I guess that is a spliff. I don't like I'm just anything like I like even with legal weed, I like flower. Like when it comes to like the form, like the vapes and the shit that's been like processed somehow, I look at it like processed food.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's not, something's wrong. It's not as good for you somehow, or it's gonna get you like, because I've taken hits from like the pens where it's like, oh, I don't really even feel anything, and I'm taking hits before I'm like, well, now I'm too high to be in this situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I feel like why don't I just the flower's good. The bud itself is great. It's legal.
The pens are so new.
And they still don't know.
You know, like the generation, the first cigarettes generation.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be like that with the pens. It's like, oh, why'd y'all do this? Well, it was cool. It was in the movies, and I don't know, like it was like smoking a robot. I don't know.
So it was it was like smoking a robot. It was legal. Like, yeah, but it turns out that's what caused racism. Was the vape, something about the way the vape worked.
Yeah, they just linked vaping to, I've been trying to remember, some back problem, something. Some discs. I don't know. Weird.
I can say this, based on what you told us, how much you got into Data, watching Star Trek. I feel like maybe you have that sort of mind where we give you 2 hash pills, and if there's something that really needs to be figured out, we just present it to you in like some movie, where it's like, hey, this is a movie. What's a movie about a real social issue right now? I can't think of a good one. Moonlight. There you go. Watch Moonlight. See this poor kid growing up gay. How can Rob focus on this and figure out how we can be more open-minded? You might have that data processing mind.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I might have to try that. I might have to watch like get super high and then watch something.
Or like watch a documentary about homelessness. And be like, I figured out how we can crack this problem.
Yeah, you go binge watch Michael Moore's catalog.
Dude.
You can make a whole series on this. Rob saves the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
All he
taking hash
needs.
pills.
Yeah. All he needs is 2 magical pills.
That's all I need, you know.
But I
won't sleep.
Yeah. It's like the brain works in weird ways like that, where it's like, but he can't know he's doing it, so it's got to be set up the exact same way every time. Someone's got to give him to him at a party or after a comedy show, get him to drive, pull him over. The cop's got to be in on it. He's got to trick himself into taking the pill. But whatever he watches, he's going to become obsessed with.
Hell yeah.
But
That'll
then
be
again,
great.
I don't know if you figured out anything about Data.
Yeah, no, I didn't build a data. Like, I don't have my own robot.
Yeah, then again, I guess you didn't actually.
I didn't beam myself here, no.
Yeah. Well, but going back to the top of the conversation, someone please get high enough to invent the idea of beaming from one place to another and then solve Los Angeles.
Oh my God.
That'd be so great.
We just
The
beam.
ultimate.
Where can we find you?
Oh man,
In the world.
you'll never find me.
That would be amazing.
No, I'm on Twitter at Robert is the man. I'm on Instagram at Rob Haze. Got stuff on YouTube.
You should
can
definitely
check out.
Yeah, we did that
Comedy Central
featured thing for Instagram.
And I got an album coming out
when?
in August
Cool.
Where'd you record it?
in San Francisco.
At the Punchline?
No,
Dr.
at the Hideout.
The Hideout.
Yeah.
Wait, it's coming out. What date? August
No,
what?
the setup.
The setup.
The Hideout's in Chicago. I'm tripping.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I know the hideout.
Yeah,
but
the
Chicago's
setup.
one.
In my head just now, I was like, did they switch? the
They
venues
beamed
moved?
Yeah.
to each other's locations.
Wait, do you know what date it's coming out?
I believe I haven't said it anywhere before.
Do it.
Exclusive.
Do it.
August 16th.
August 16th.
Cool.
What's
Good
it
date.
called?
You gotta say it with a question mark because it might change.
All right. What's it called? Do you know?
It's called Hazepedia.
Hazepedia.
Yeah.
Is there a record label
Yes, Blind Medicine.
on Blonde Medicine?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna this we'll make sure this episode will push it up so it gets released before that.
Yep.
Okay.
Extra promo. Buy Rob's album. Absolutely see him live. He is one of the best. And I'm sad he's living in LA now because we're gonna miss him in New York. But then that's just how it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
And who knows? I might get something. I might end up, coming back to New York. Or,
We're all bi-coastal now.
I mean,
Yeah.
truthfully, the first thing they will do when they invent beaming will be set up between New York and LA.
yes.
yeah.
'Cause people who live in both those cities bounce back and forth, and we'll just be beaming, catch each other in the beam sphere.
There's gonna be a line first.
Yeah.
Like first you gotta go to a place and wait in
Yes.
line, and the line is gonna be ridiculous.
And you're gonna have to register.
Yeah.
And people can pay more for like TSA pre-line.
TSA pre-beam.
Like, beam.
yeah.
Boost
Pre-beam.
up.
Like beaming alone. You know what it'll be? It'll be paying to beam alone. Or if you don't want to pay that, there's like coach beaming,
Oh yeah.
where you beam with like 20 people.
And you
Oh,
land
no.
like
Yeah.
in like Union Station in LA.
But
and
there's
then
the-
you have to go to
right.
separate
Someone, I
places.
think I switched intestines.
Exactly.
With someone.
I think I got Rob's leg. I got Rob's leg for a week. Wait, where'd he go? He's in San Francisco. Oh shit!
Someone called my leg brother man. That's crazy.
Someone keeps passing a basketball to my leg. Thank you very much, Rob Haze.
Yes, thank
As always, this is my awesome co-host, Caitlin Cook.
you. Hello.
I am Sean
Goodbye.
Patton. This is my shirt. Who dat?
All right. That was a great way to bring that back around.